Hello, in this video I have something a little bit special and interesting. So, starting from Tankfest, a few of the CCs had mentioned it would be nice to have a bit of an event for the CCs. So, things got underway, there was some discussion in the CC Discord, and eventually we have gotten to this point here. And that is going to be, of course, this private CC event, which it's not public, it's only for CCs, but it does involve us, contributors, actually doing some funky things in terms of making some content and actually going out and playing the game. So let's actually have a look at some of the quests that we'll be doing. And of course, I'll try to make videos on most parts of this where I can. So, one of the quests will be send 77 reactions. That won't be anything too interesting. Another one, use alternate shells 99 times in any mode, and we need an ace tanker apparently, so probably be playing some Hesh slinging tanks for that one. Record a full match with commentary, oh good lord. Telecast the entire battle like an esports commentator. Well, I've never done esports, so that will be a bit interesting. Use consumables 100 times in underwater mode. Okay, an automatic fail quest there. Damage denied. Block 8,888 damage with heavy tanks and make a short video teaching others how to block damage with heavy tanks. Blocking damage isn't too hard particularly, so that should be fine. Win 7 battles in every game mode except random rating and tournament. Wonderful. 2 days to complete, and platoon with 3 other community contributors in these battles. Okay, that one may be a bit hard because I am on Asia server, yet I live in the UK, so I am on a UK time zone, meaning the times when I'm awake, a lot of the time it is a bit later on Asia, so that might be a bit hard. But next one, deal 25,000 damage in Japanese heavy tanks. Install an anime avatar or profile background before you battle. Okay, that one can't be too hard to do. Destroy 17 enemy tanks in a hybridation tank, and change tanks every battle. Again, not too hard to do. A bit of a different thing compared to normal quests. Sigma player quest. Be the top player by damage dealt in 3 times in your favorite tank. Play the Grilla 15. Okay. Gorilla 15 is not among my favourites, but alright, wargaming. Spot and plot quest. Spot 20 tanks in lights or mediums. Share your top 3 tank destroyer positions on 5 different maps. What? That has nothing to do with lights or mediums. Again, one that can't be too hard. Spotting 20 tanks, that's fairly easy to do. And then the final one, Newton's Revenge quest. Deal 3,000 damage by ramming in tier 5 to 8 tanks, and I have to make a short and post it to the community manager. Well, there you can see it. These are the quests for the CCs to complete. You may see some interesting videos from the official CCs due to this happening, and yeah, I will be of course showing some of these. So here, let me roll with the first ticket and get the first quest which I have to complete. And it is Origami of Damage. Which one was that? 25,000 damage in Japanese heavy tanks. I can do that. So, of course, I'm not going to be doing it live or anything, but I will be showing the battles from it and talk about it a bit, as this is of course a bit of a special event. It is for CCs, and of course Wargaming is expecting us to show it on our channels, as of course it is a little bit different compared to usual events, and of course what is the point of Wargaming making the effort if we aren't going to show it on our channels? But yeah, I will do this quest and show you the results. Hello, I am back with the first challenge of this CC event complete. And of course that one was to do 25,000 damage in Japanese tanks. So in this one I started with the Chinukai Shinobi, which honestly it was a mistake. This tank is much worse than I remember. It's not got great DPM, it's got bad mobility, just not a wonderful vehicle, and 6 degrees of gun depression, not too fun. Then I switched to the Type 5 Heavy. That was okay. I had one terrible game where I just missed all the shots, but then in the end it was the WoT which helped me to complete this challenge. And of course, WoT, very nice tank, so kind of a natural choice. And yes, I did have the anime profile background and avatar installed just so I could complete that secondary requirement. So I will now show one of the better battles I did have during this challenge. So this one, you can see it's on the new Port Bay, which is very nice. One of the only times I played this new map recently. And you can see I am spawning in a pretty decent matchup. 3 tank destroyers on the enemy team means I'm going to have a bit of issues with the armor, but still not that many heavy tanks, so should be alright for brawling on the sea flank. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this battle, especially as I'm not too quick of a vehicle, and luckily at least a few of my team are following me to this side of the map. So here, one of the issues I have found with this new version of the Port Bay map is because they have added a bunch of trees towards that corner in front of me, you can get outspotted by light tanks and medium tanks much easier than previously, which is annoying. And by the way, I do have camouflage on this, I just forgot to turn it off in settings. And you can see there, I get spotted by the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen very easily, and then hit before I'd even managed to spot them. And same thing for the HWK-12, he's also doing the same. But luckily, this tank does have decent enough armor, so hopefully I will be able to bounce some shots, as long as I'm showing the front. You can see there, FV having a good game, poking his entire turret over the ridge, taking his full hit points in damage in just a second. So here you can see, not a very fast-paced game, just sitting here essentially waiting as our heavy tanks aren't pushing, and as a tank destroyer I don't really want to be spearheading a push. There you can see I did activate the reactive armor on this tank, which is one of the nicest things about the WoT. The fact it does have a reactive armor consumable as a tank destroyer does allow you to play a bit more aggressively, especially when your heavies aren't really doing their job as they should. However, here you'll notice I see the FV behind me. After taking a shot from the HWK, I do decide to turn around completely and try to go for the FV. Then I remember, oh, there's these walls here on this version of Port Bay, meaning I can't actually get to that FV. And he is unfortunately going to put a hit into our T-57. Right now I'm not too sure what to do. Do I help the 57 or do I turn around and deal with the flank? I decide I'm going to be shooting the Panzerwagen, who does just completely expose himself, and then somehow thinks that I don't have that long of a reload and dies. So, very good dealing with that Panzerwagen. Now I'm up to 2,750 damage, but still relatively close game, and there's that annoying HWK-12 on that really heavily, well, concealed flank, which is the corner over there. Here I get a bit lucky. I believe I bounced the 183 on the gun, otherwise he would completely go through the front of my tank, because he has 300mm of pen and my armor is only, what, 267, so no chance of bouncing him. However, you'll see here, now up to almost 4k damage with the very nice DPM and accuracy of this tank, 4.5k now, and hopefully my team can pull it together and win this game. However, again, with that hidden HWK-12 on the flank, going to be a bit of a challenge. Unfortunately, the 183 misses, not too much of a surprise for a 183. However, the HWK-12 does bounce, which allows me to push forward and put a shot into that 50 TP. Luckily, bouncing again. However, it does mean I'm spotted for a full 20 seconds. So, still being a bit careful here, 183 becomes spotted, but luckily our 183 does react fast enough to take him out. And now it's a 3 versus 2. Things are looking a bit up. I decide to push, activate the reactive armor. However, at this moment, my ping and loss rate go absolutely through the roof, and I am lagging terribly. Of course, at the exact moment I decide to make a push. That is just perfect. However, luckily enough, the high penetration of WoT does allow me to essentially not aim and still shut down that 50 TP. And you can see that game did 5,600 damage, 2,270 blocked. One lucky bounce from that 183 would have ended that game completely. However, still making a pretty nice amount of credits for that one, especially due to these mastery badges which I did receive. However, yeah, that is the first challenge done. Deal 25k damage in Japanese tanks. Again, like I said, mistake using the tier 5. It was of course done much faster using tier 10s. But yeah, I will now roll for the next challenge. And of course there are 11 of them, so could really be anything. Hopefully not the underwater quest. Spot and plot. So this one, I believe, yeah, spot 20 tanks in lights or mediums and share your top 3 tank destroyer positions on 5 different maps with your followers. So that will be for the next video. I will get to doing that and then make a video on it as well. But that is it for this first challenge. Thanks all for watching.